Should be going live in about 20 seconds here. There we go. 20 seconds here. Here we go, gentlemen. We're up and going. First of all, I want to welcome everybody on. Definitely it's indeed an honor to have everybody back once again, talking about that Moorish right, you know, and definitely I would like for Brother L. Day, who's on here today, along with Brother Raymond Edwards, and anybody else who may have questions in regards to that. I think I have these two gentlemen along with other brothers who may be able to answer those questions. But tonight, I just want to say personally welcome everybody on because this thing here is really taking, it has its own way of just moving, and I'm really enjoying it. As I said before, the last time I was on, being in Atlantic City, I really had a great time with the brothers, and in the process, I really enjoyed myself. So with that being said, Brother L. Day, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and you can go right at it.
All right, thank you, Brother Tony Muhammad, once again, and thank you for all of the brothers and sisters who may be on the line right now. I just want to give honors to you, Brother Tony, on this platform. And while I am excited to be able to share the wisdom, the teaching, the literature of the ancient free Moorish rite, I'm very also excited for you and for what your show has become, you know, in this effort, right, to galvanize people, to bring people together, right, to have a venue where we all can come together like we're coming together. I commend you and credit you, brother. You know, keep doing the good work, sir. I want to acknowledge, of course, dual jurisdiction Grandmaster, Brother Raymond Edwards, and commend you as well, Brother Edwards, for your work, brother, for your efforts. You are doing groundbreaking work, making history in the ancient free Moorish rite. And the ancient free Moorish rite is, of course, an entity itself that makes history every time one person knows that we exist and that we're here. That is history in the making. And Brother Edwards, you've just been doing phenomenal when it comes to, you know, getting the word out. And not only just getting the word out, you're bringing the people in. And that is indeed the vision of Dr. Clifford E. Hazel Bay. So, Brother Tony, I'm not sure if we're going to be answering questions, but I do want to, and I trust that we have questions and we will furnish those questions as best we can. But I do trust that, Brother Edwards, you have a platform and the name of the show. And if you could expound on that a little bit, brother, we could take it from there.
Okay, peace, Brother L. Day. Good evening, brothers. For some of you that don't know, this is probably about the 6th year, going into the 6th year, that the ancient free Moorish rite dual jurisdiction got started. And I see a lot of brothers here when were there when we first got our first initiation. First of all, I want to thank Brother Jalil, because he was the one that was instrumental in introducing me to the ancient free Moorish rite, him and Brother Israel. And after several talks with the El Day, you know, we sat down or whatever over the phone, and, you know, we ended up having that first initiation at my 50th birthday party, which was the East Coast Masonic Summit. And ancient free Moorish rite came in. I see Brother Gil, Brother Renee, Brother Aket. I don't see him here, but Brother Allah's son was there. And you brothers were very much as instrumental to help this thing get started. None of us knew what was going to happen. And we're nowhere near where we could possibly go. And that's why after starting to look at certain things, like, you guys see posts, we're getting a lot of, input, because I tell people, the ancient free Moorish rite is like your great-great-grandmother's recipe for pound cake. Your grandmother made it, your mom made it, now your sister's making it. But it's not as good as it was originally because a lot of the ingredients were left out. That's the comparison between ancient free Moorish rite and traditional masonry. Some of you brothers that are ancient free Moorish rite only don't have a complete understanding of what goes on in traditional masonry, because most of you just pretty much get the books. And it's the same situation with brothers. If they just happen to have a ancient free Moorish rite monitor and they started reading it, they wouldn't get the understanding, because the brothers have to give you certain information that everybody doesn't get by mouth, unless it's by mouth to ear. So a lot of stuff that I show people in comparison, they're like, oh, now I know. Like, you'll never see an explanation in any book what the anchor and the arc is in a Masonic book, but it's in there. Why are nautical things in traditional Masonic books? But we don't look at these things because we just look at where they just skipped over that part. So henceforth, moving forward, we're learning things, and what it's doing is making everybody that I encounter a better Mason all around. It's teaching us to understand things in a different manner. The sisters, oh my God, the sisters are loving it, because they love the way the Moorish rite treats them. Every Monday night we have a call, and it's loaded with sisters, and it's a fun call. It's a beautiful call. It's about the fellowship, and they're learning so much, and they're appreciative. And I want to thank the L Day and Sister Audrey for coming on every Monday to help facilitate that call. And no matter what happens, this was all under the vision of Dr. Hazel, because anybody that knows him, I wasn't fortunate enough to ever meet him, but talked about his connection to traditional masonry and to ancient free Moorish rite masonry, and to understand his mindset that these two had to come together for us as Asiatics, non-European Masons, to come together. We had to understand. And probably at the time, he didn't have anybody that could really help him push the envelope like it's being pushed now, but he's the catalyst for this whole thing. So, peace and blessings be upon him and his wife, Sister Bessie, but they are the founders, and our job is to build and preserve what he laid down for us. I remember me and the L Day had our first real kind of conversation, and I said, well, I'm just going to tell you, bro, they can say whatever they want to say about me, but if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I give you my word, I'm going to hold to it, no matter how much we win, lose, or draw. And if we lose together, we lost.
Yes, sir.
But I said I would never allow this thing to be pimped out. I've been around too many different Masonic organizations. Ancient free Moorish rite is not going to be pimped out. Okay? You have the Memphis Mizraim. You got 37 different thousand people claiming that they got the rights to the Memphis Mizraim now. Nobody can say that about the ancient free Moorish rite. And we have to protect that. We can't let it go sour. Guys, right now, we are on a tangent when it comes to guys that are not participating and showing up to calls or getting educated. You got to go, bro. We're talking about a ship here. Any dead weight got to get tossed overboard. And if that means you're an individual that's dead weight, you're shark food. So either get on board or walk the plank. Ain't that what you say, Brother L Day?
Yes, sir.
So, the process of building, we've been talking about so many different things, how this thing is going to help the communities that we all are a part of nationwide. I got brothers constantly calling me saying they want to be a part of it. And I'm like, well, are you a part of anything yet? If you are, I can help you. If you're not, you got to kind of go a different route, because they don't understand. It's easier for brothers that are traditional Masons to understand the structure in Moorish rite masonry. The terms and lessons are different, but they're used to meeting in lodges. The positions are the same. They're not the same names. The duties are primarily the same. So when you look at some of these duties, and the ones in the Moorish Rite are more detailed than the one in traditional Masonry. So everything that we learn in there, you can tell where somebody took pieces out of it and used what they wanted to use for their own benefit. We already knew that Moorish, they didn't make no Eastern Stars for no Black people. We know what Pike did. We know all these things, but we refuse to respect the fact that where we come from is where Masonry started. But we're so busy worrying about a piece of paper and a lineage that we get stuck on that instead of understanding what the truth about us being Freemasons. Like, why can't we get along? Why can't we sit down in lodges? And it's not everybody. It's primarily one group, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't want Tony to get mad at me.
Thank you.
Every time we have a conversation, it's always somebody talking about lineage. And I don't have to tell y'all who that is. Lineage, why is it so important? My lineage is tied to Angelo Salome. My lineage is tied to Aaron Mabi Faye. That's my lineage. That's the lineage we need to hear. So, I mean, the purpose for the call tonight was to let everybody worldwide know that the Ancient Free Moorish Rite is not here to harm, hurt, or destroy anybody. It's to build upon something that we can all be a part of. Because right now, there's nothing that stops you from being a part of Ancient Free Moorish Rite. It's no tie with the UGLE, with any other organization. We have members from International. We have members from PHO. We have members from AF.M.R. We have members from Modern Free. Somebody contacted from United National. They talk about they want to, they've heard about some things. They want to have a conversation. Sure, why not? We are trying to do things that these individuals have done for years. Myself and Grandmaster Tony Hawkins were the original people that had the conversation about the 100-year John E. Jones anniversary. We passed superiors like good members, and they took it and they couldn't get along. And I got the proof because I posted up the other day on Tony's page where it shows we had the original group and who were the original people that were discussing this thing. But we can't get along. And why can't we get along? We don't have to go to the same church, but we all believe in the same religion. And even though we're different, we go to the same mosque, whatever it is, but we should all be able to be civilized and understand that we brothers and sisters. So that was my kind of reason for asking permission from the LD and Brother Tony's assistants to let the world know that we are not here trying to take nothing from nobody. We're trying to bring something to you. And until you can sit around and say you know more than me about this, then guess what? I don't got nothing to hear from you. You got to learn to listen. That's what we do. We learn. That's the first, in Masonry, that's the first thing you learn, to listen. Keep quiet and listen, right? Silent tongue, listening ear. Faithful breath. Believe in what you're doing. Believe the person in front of you is telling you the right thing, so you're hearing it. To believe the person in front of you is being honorable. The LD has been nothing but honorable with me. Jalil has been nothing but honorable with me. Now, I'm not going to say that about some other ones, but it is what it is. And I'm no longer worried about them because we have a charted course that we have to complete in Dr. Hazel's honor. That's my piece.
Could someone explain to me? I should be able to. Could someone explain to me in regards to Dr. Elzel? I'm probably mispronouncing his name. Was he a Mason already?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Brother Tony, I'm honored. Were you going to say something, bro?
No, I was going to say, give me a little something about him. I know I've heard his name a lot. I've seen his picture with his 33rd Regalion. That's about all I know.
Okay, that's good. Yes, sir. I'm honored, brother, that you are thinking about Dr. Hazel. As we talk about his vision, right? We necessarily have to talk about him, the kind of man that he was, right? Mm-hmm. We are fulfilling that vision, right? But what about him? Who was he? What about his vision? Why did he have the vision that he had? I am, and Brother Edwards could tell you, I am a stickler about making sure that people who know about the ancient free Moorish rite, that they also know about Dr. Clifford E. Hazel Bey.
Mhm.
I'm unimpressed if they don't know about Dr. Hazel Bey and they know about the ancient free Moorish rite. Okay? It's his vision. He was, Brother Tony,
Mhm.
a Freemason. He scaled to the pinnacle of Freemasonry. He was the most puissant sovereign grand commander. And those of us who understand Freemasonry, we understand what that title means. We understand the duties and responsibilities that go with that title.
Right.
He was a good man. He was a godly man. And he had lifelong experience with Freemasonry, religion, all of the ecumenical sciences. He was just well-rounded. He belonged to a lot of Masonic councils. He belonged to numerous religious councils, and he committed his life to these disciplines. He loved Freemasonry dearly, and he felt that through the moral teachings of Freemasonry that our people and the whole world would have a chance if we really understood the didactics of this age-old science, which is essentially undateable. And Doc would tell you this, and this is why we say within Freemasonry that it is as old as soil. Now, in that statement, it is a cryptic statement letting you know who the originators of Freemasonry really are. Dr. Hazel was committed to that. He was committed to that exposure, not to necessarily wage war on traditional Freemasonry. That wasn't his objective. But he knew that if he could move his people from a second class, second thought status and bring them into a first class, first thought status based on the premise of Freemasonry and the origins of Freemasonry, that it would have an effect on the way we looked at ourselves, the way we behaved, and how we pursued learning. Dr. Hazel, I'm going to say, was a divine man. He was a divine personage. He was totally committed to you and I. In his person, you would know that he was a man, a godly man upon meeting him. Just upon seeing him, you would just know these things about him. And I saw holy men cry, weep like babies, just upon shaking his hand.
Yes, it's
You know,
not much. I'm in a Zoom meeting right now.
that's the kind of man that he was. I saw holy men
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
cry, weep,
Okay. Thanks.
just upon meeting him, shaking his hand. And I,
Let me get to this point. Let me say.
Tony, can you mute everybody?
Yeah, I'm
not
gonna
sure
have.
what's going on, but and also saw holy men conferences of a lot of religious, I'm going to use the word superstars.
Please mute yourself.
Right? Religious superstars, people who we see in the media, the evangelists that we see on TV all the time. I saw these people approach him with deference, approach him with the respect that you wouldn't believe. And in my case, I didn't even know that he knew them, let alone they knew him. And I saw them offer to give the keynote to him. When they were the keynote, they offered to give it to him. Dr. Hazel, he was a special person, Brother Tony Muhammad. He was a special man. I once called him a prophet. He told me he was not a prophet, but he did tell me that he was an avatar. And in the ancient free Morris Rite and in the ancient free Morris Rite dual jurisdiction, we refer to him as an avatar. And for me, while my love and respect, right, is unscaled when it comes to him, I look around at you who are here today, starting with my flagship and my brothers, Brother Edwards. I look at you, brethren, as the evidence of his vision, because when he would talk about his vision, Brother Tony, he would talk about the people. It wouldn't be so much about the didactics of the ancient free Morris Rite. It wouldn't be so much about that. It would be about the people, the caliber of people who would carry the rite after he was gone, who would carry the rite in this millennia and into the next, and on and on and on. He said that the ancient free Morris Rite this time is resurrected to live forever. It would not ever be subdued, hidden, obscured, or crushed again after this resurrection in this dispensation of time. And when I think about that, when I analyze that and process that information, even when I would talk to him, I would see you. I would see you. Dear brethren, here now on this call, were it not for them and for their efforts, right? And for brother Muhammad, and for their goose step attitude toward the ancient free Morris Rite and Dr. Hazel's vision, we would not be on this call right now. There are some Morris Rite Freemasons who you don't see them on Facebook. You don't see them out in the public eye. And there are those of us who are here. Some of us, we minimalize some of that. But you are the vision of Dr. Clifford E. Hazel Bay. And he would talk about it, and he would talk about the people. He was a man of the people. He'd been involved with civil rights. I mean, you name it. He and his wife were on the front lines during the civil rights movement. He was that kind of a man. He was committed, brother, to the struggle for our people. And it transcended that. He was committed to the struggle for the freedom of people across the world. Humanity itself is oppressed. He saw Freemasonry as a vital tool, a primary tool, to bring about the redemption of the whole world. And that's how he would tell it to you. And I know I've said a lot, and I know I'm trying to emphasize maybe all that I can emphasize in a few sentences. But that's the kind of man that he was, Brother Muhammad. You would have loved to have just shooken hands with him, you know, and sat down when he would be humorous, or the way he would smile at you, or the way he would tell a joke, and the things that he loved and the things that he disliked. He was very open. He loved everybody. He was a great man. You know, I consider him my father. And certainly he would tell me that I was born of his spiritual loins, although not born of his physical loins. He had children of his own. He had a dear wife. He loved his family. You know, he did not drink. He did not smoke. He did not get drunk. He did not do drugs. He did not commit crime. He did not cheat on his wife. He did not fornicate. He was an upright man. He lived a distinguished life. He lived a disciplined life. And many people came to him for a lot of things. And I will tell you, and there's be more to say about him. I cannot exhaust the words with Dr. Hazel. You know, if I had 1,000 books to write, he would tell you the only enemy truly of our people is ignorance. Not another man, not another group of people.
And in saying that's profound in a sense when you say that. So in saying exactly what you just said, the enemy of our people is ignorant. So why do you think it's so hard for us to get beyond the boundaries that are before us? We all know the boundaries. What do you think as an elder is that problem? Because I know that others look at me as an elder because I'm of age now. I'm past the 50. So, but you yourself, what is your thoughts on that? Because there has to be something that is keeping us from having that unique conversation to where we're able to assist and better ourselves being amongst each other.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I say this, brother? Can I be very frank with you?
Yeah, be frank.
Yes, sir. You see, Freemasonry, we call it a teaching, but it's a technology. Now, they will not always teach you this. It's a technology. That's why you are introduced to tools. Anytime tools come into the arrangement, you're talking about technology, right? It's a technology, and we need to approach it like it's a technology. I mean, all the time we talk about tools, right? We talk about tools. We have so many tools within Freemasonry. The overarching teaching and the secret is that it is a technology. It's not a passive teaching. It's a technology. Your tools and your understanding of that technology needs to become real to all people. The cultivation of these tools is the formula that will help us get by one of our primary obstacles, is our own jealousy of one another. Envy, jealousy. This is why when it comes to us, we talk about crabs in a barrel. Now, there were certain things that were done to us, right? I'm going to go a little bit more into Freemasonry now. And you've heard this before, and you've heard this analogy with Hiram Abiff, right? All the places where they struck Hiram before they eventually killed him relates to all of the areas where we are weak and underdeveloped as a people.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
And then we're buried in the northeast corner in a shallow grave. Of course, within that, Solomon comes along and he gives the grip that they call the lion's paw. They won't really tell you why they call it that. But Brother Muhammad, our answer to this is to apply the technology that is Freemasonry. And this is what Doc knew. This is what Doc understood. We try to put our best foot forward with this every day, but we have to take Freemasonry out of the realm of philosophy and ancient teachings, if you will. It was always a technology. And this is why physical tools were always used to represent spiritual truths. It's a technology. Freemasonry becomes our best chance. And yeah, and I'm saying it. If you want to take me to task on it, you can take me to task on it. It becomes our best chance of getting past and conquering all of the things, all of the obstacles. See, all of our own fetishes, all of our own backwardness that keeps us divided. We talked about this yesterday, Brother Jalil. Hold fast to the rope of the Creator and be not divided. Brother Muhammad, I guarantee you, if this generation of Freemasons chooses to approach this thing that we have as a technology, and as Brother Edwards and you were saying earlier, to work together and not against one another. Not saying that it's going to be easy. It's not always even easy to take a hammer and nail a nail into a 2x4. Sometimes you can mess up and maybe hit your thumb a little bit. It's very real. But we can apply it, we can learn it, and it has to be governed by our sense of precision. It has to be governed by our commitment and adherence to it. I know it's hard. And I know it's hard for a lot of people because we've got a lot of stuff on us. Spiritual curses, generational curses, all of it. To keep us where we are. We've got a lot of that on us, but we can remove it. Freemasonry is the tool. It's the technology that will aid us in cleansing ourselves, purging ourselves of all the things that are wrong with us and of all the things that society wants to say is indigenously wrong with us, or they just come by laziness naturally. They just come by ignorance naturally. They just don't have it as a people. And what did the old white racists say? If one nigger owned the Atlantic Ocean, he wouldn't give another nigger a glass of water if he was thirsty and dying.
Damn.
We don't want that kind of narrative to lead us into the future. This is why Doc did what he did. He did what he had to do, and he had to be 100% committed to it. 100% committed to it. You're talking about he and Sister Bessie. You're talking about people who had the water hose sprayed at them, next to tearing their flesh. You're talking about people who walked when the dogs were barking and sniping and snapping at their skin. You talked about people who sat in jail, had the lawyers come from the NAACP, get them out, and they turn around and go back into jail the next day. You're talking about people on the front lines with the struggle. You're not talking about people who took the comfortable way out, the safe way out, holding on to the fence. Now, I will tell you, and this is a credit to you, Brother Muhammad. This is a credit to everybody that's on the line right now. And especially if you've taken any kind of interest and any kind of affiliation with the ancient Free Moorish Rite. It takes courage to do what you're doing. I've had 2 houses burned down because of this work. And my life threatened. You don't have to worry about that. Because in a large sense, Doc and I paved the way for that. But it still requires courage for you to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to look at something different. I'm going to take a chance at making change. I'm going to take a chance at doing something that's effective. Instead of remaining with the thing that's ineffective, because the forces are going to pull on you. And the inimical forces, those forces that exist within you, are stronger than the forces that exist without you. Those forces are going to pull on us. You better believe it. But you have made a step. You have made a step. You've broken loose some of the shackles. When you do this, I commend you. Even if you don't realize what you're doing, and I know a lot of you do, so I'm not underestimating anybody, but I commend you. Because why? Our best teaching is not by talking. It's by patterns, right? Anybody here who's ever dealt with any education, you know that patterns are your best teaching. And we all become a pattern of a program that we have to present. It's your best teaching. You are an example right now because you've taken a stand. You've at least made a decision, even if that decision is partial right now. You may not want to have nothing to do with the ancient free Moors, right? But you're here today. Something caused you to be here. But for those of you who have had skin in the game, you've been doing this for a long time, you've been taking this walk. Look at our brother Jalil and what he has suffered. And look how positive and how, man, brother, don't get me started.
I'm gonna add to some of the things you were just saying.
Yes, sir.
You absolutely said a lot, and a lot of it did touch me in the sense of saying and taking that step. I know a lot of young brothers who are Masons, who want to be Masons, and just like this gentleman, his name is Big Truck. He said, I want to become a Freemason. I've been researching and watching various people. I'm lost about choosing the so-called original way to become one. This gentleman, his name is Big Truck. He's in the chat room, but I would say this to Big Chuck. I would say get with a group of men who have the same desires as you, but wanting to see you be successful. I'm not about the jurisdictional thing, because I'm not about the gang bang on a jurisdiction. What I'm about is actually helping that brother to be a successful Mason. As you just said just a few minutes ago about that brother being the example of a Mason. So if you're going to join a lodge, and you want to join a lodge that's going to really see something in you, and you're going to see something in them, because some of us get in lodges and you get in there and you look around, you say, shit, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. I don't need you to do this. I want to be around like-minded people who want to be successful in life and don't want to cut me down. I don't need you to cut me down while we're both trying to be successful. And what I find a lot of times with young people, they want that, but we have to be willing to give them that. And if you're not willing to give it to them, so they walk away. They wonder, well, you know what, y'all divided anyway, but we need them like glue. They are that cement. They are that glue. And for those of us who have the trial of a Master Mason, we have to understand that's where you need to go and spread the cement of brotherly love amongst them, so they can see you for who you are. Because I can guarantee you, most of us have seen older guys, and you often wonder to yourself, was he a Mason? And then after he passed away, you say, I knew he was a Mason. Well, how did you know? It was something about him that was different from everybody else. Because I've done it. I've been around gentlemen, and I'm like wondering. Then he passed, and he was like, he was a brother. He was a Mason. He didn't have to say he was. He didn't have to wear the jury, but it was something about him that drew other people to him. And just like it is with a lot of people, a lot of brothers who are looking to be part of something that's bigger than they are, but they have to do their homework and not just do their homework based upon lineage and all that other stuff, but do it based upon brotherly love, relief, and truth. If you're going to be true to me, and you're going to treat me like a brother, and you're going to help me learn what masonry is all about, the hell with your lineage. I mean, you can keep that. I want to understand masonry. I want to understand things that I'm a part of. And everything else is going to fall in play. Trust me, it's going to fall in play.
That's right.
So in listening to what you had to say in regards to that, it all comes full circle, because there are things that are left out of the Masonic ritual we have, because I've seen a very old Masonic ritual, and I would tell you this like I tell anybody else. In the ritual itself, in the one I seen, it was an old one. It said, to rise, follow your God, and fear no danger.
Come on, brother.
Say in most rituals, it says, rise, follow your God. Because we can go back to the same thing. As you are taking that obligation, that oath within Freemasonry, it says, who do you put your trust in?
That's right.
If my trust is in God, why should I rise and follow a God? Why should I just rise and follow God?
That's right.
So,
that's right.
So
that's right.
That is some of the things that I see in regards to Freemasonry. Now I'm gonna flip the strip on you just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And bring in that thing we like to talk about, that playhouse of Freemasonry. Since this is like Ramadan for a lot of individuals, for a lot of us who practice Islam and who've gone through the fasting protocol, let's touch on the Shriners just for a second. Is that all right, Brother L?
That's all right, brother. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna say this because I get frustrated when I hear brothers talking about Shriners being the playhouse of Freemasonry. Shrine has never been the playhouse of Freemasonry. I was told that when I came in. And so that's what I thought it was until I began to read it for myself. And I saw it differently than I had ever seen it before. Opening the Shriners ritual and rereading it for yourself is different than going through the initiation part. Because in the initiation, there's so much happening and you can't grab it all. You're seeing things and going through the motion because you want this to hurry up and get over. You know, you want to skip across them sands. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You want this to hurry and get over, Doc. But once it's over and you go back and you read that Shriners ritual, you come to find out you damn near converted.
Yes, sir.
That's the truth, because of the essence of Shrindom and what it means. You go through those obstacles to get to Mecca. That's why you go through those obstacles, and you get there and you go to the Wailing Wall to touch it, because now it's black and it once was a pure white stone from heaven. You know, so when you get there and you see this, you're like, wow, because it plays such a part in the development of one becoming created a noble, which in turns to me play right into everything that I'm dealing with right today. I see brother, go ahead, brother, you can speak. I see your hand up.
Greetings, Brother Muhammad, El Day, and the other leaders on this Zoom, and to the brethren and any sister that's here. I just wanted to touch on a thing that the El Day and you, Brother Muhammad, spoke about when it comes to the shrine and when it comes to the very character of Freemasonry. As to the El Day, when he spoke to this being a technology and the different tools that we have. And then when you jump to the shrine and you spoke to how it has been said that this is the shrine is the playhouse for Freemasonry. When you look at these characteristics or these references, right, they lend to the reality of the usages or traditions of those who robbed our people of this knowledge. And what I mean by that is that when you have individuals who were dealing in the business of oppression and conquering and forcing people to take other religions of different lands or different rulage and things like this, they had a way of controlling the history. Like the victor tells the story. So when our beloved sovereign said, if you're not practicing your own Freemasonry, whose Freemasonry are you practicing? I'm not practicing the Freemasonry where anything that I'm dealing with in Freemasonry is some type of playhouse. And if I'm utilizing the technology and the tools that has been given to me to, one, improve myself and increase myself in knowledge and to improve my character, then the lessons that are to be taught to me are not the kind that are of foolery or playfulness. While I might have a characteristic in me as a man to be humble and kind and playful, the matters of the mind, which govern the members of the body, will not be in a playful state. So when I say it lends to the usages and the traditions of those who have conquered and imposed things on other people and cultures, I'm speaking to the reality that those who wrote the story, who gave it to those who claimed the story after the fact, have only adopted those traditions and have not even identified, have been able to perceive it, that they've adopted their slave master's mindset, that they've adopted their slave master's context in regards to how they view the feeble under them. Because when the shrine was brought over to these Americas, it wasn't given by no European. The first and only individual who was authorized to bring the shrine to the Americas was John Gene Jones. And when he came, he gave certain authorities and instructions and the likes of this. And when he gave these particular things out, he didn't teach that it was the fun house.
That's
and
right.
When you look at the rituals of it, when you look at the rituals in it and the stories of it, me being Muslim, alhamdulillah, I also see the error in the story. Mohammedans and this and the burning sands and so forth and so on, without getting into too many things. The key thing is that there's nothing in that ritual that says playfulness, but it is the traditions and usages of the individuals who look at it as just the fun house. And if we continue in that practice, we continue to look at Freemasonry like it's just something to do, like it's just something fun to do, like we're just coming to have banquets and oh, we're gonna dress up nice and put the regalia on and we're gonna look good and shake hands and take pictures and wear all this fancy stuff, then the mindset is just that. This is just some type of social club. It's not that way for us in Ancient Free-Moorish right? Respectfully.
That's right.
Peace.
That's right.
We live this.
Peace.
We live this.
Yes, sir.
People.
You know,
We
Brother
live
Muhammad,
this for the-
I'm sorry, brother.
I'll pass it back to you, but it's
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
live for the prosperity and perpetuity of our people, of this Moorish nation. We live to raise the sun.
Come on,
We
brother.
live to bring light to the mind.
That's right.
Because where there is darkness, there is injustice. In Arabic, it is called thulimat, darkness. This is injustice. Thulim, and people are engulfed in sin, and that's another way to describe the sin. But if you don't have what you're supposed to be standing upon to be on truth, honor, respect, no, faith, no. I yield back, brothers. That's all I wanted to add to that.
Brother Jalil, that's powerful. Brother Muhammad, I'm going to tell you something. And of course, this is for the benefit of everybody. And I know people right now, there's energy and people have things to say. And that's good. Dr. Hazel used to say, this was before the ancient Free-Moorish rite was, okay,
Please
we got a lot
mute
of
yourself.
noise.
I'm going to mute all.
Okay. Okay. Now, before the ancient Free-Moorish rite was reestablished officially, Dr. Hazel would have 20, 30 people gather at his house. Okay. And I'm going to mention something about the shrine too, brother. And all people would do all day is they would talk about the injustices, the oppression.
And we'll mute the foot.
I just muted everybody. So,
Thank you.
brother Azel, L, he can unmute himself.
All right. Again, I'll blitz through this. Before Dr. Hazel even called the press conference in Newark, New Jersey to announce the ancient free Morse right, before it was ratified and officially established, Dr. Hazel would have as many as 30, 40 guests at his house. Most of the time, a lot of brethren. And what brethren would do is they would talk about oppression, the white man, the injustices, all the wrongs that were ever done. And I'm going to emulate Doc for a minute. And Doc would say, well, get up and do something about it. Stop crying like babies. Now, he was trying to introduce the ancient free Morse right. He was saying, stop complaining, stop bitching, get up and do something. You don't like the junkie? Give the junkie something to do. You don't like the prostitute? Give her something else to do. You don't like the brother who's ignorant on the corner? Go to the corner and teach him. Stop crying like babies. Be men, stand up and do something. This is Doc, and I'm emulating him, trying to do the best impersonation of him that I could do. And he would say, stop crying, stop complaining. Get up and do something. What makes you unable to do something about something? Get up and do something. Because why? People would go on all day, right? So Doc said, that's your alternative. Stop crying like biatches, even though that's not the word he would use. Get up and do something about it. And because he would be talking about establishing our own Masonic right, for Brother Jones, Brother Muhammad, people would not listen. Brothers were sitting there, all they wanted to know about is how could they get the 32nd, how can they get the 33rd, how can they get to the shrine, and that kind of thing. Totally ignoring what he would be saying about, we need to take an initiative now to bring back our Freemasonry. And somebody would say, yeah, Dr. Hazel, that's interesting. How can I get to the shrine, brother? How can I get to the, 33rd one day? Maybe Dr. Hazel would be like, yeah, that'd be recommended to the 33rd. And I ain't recommending you. Now, during that time, I was getting close to Dr. Hazel before even the formation of the ancient free Morse right? We just had a affinity for one another, right? And I'm not saying that he didn't have that for others too, but we were getting close. And there were brethren who did not like that we were getting close, okay? Now, you were talking about the shrine. I was fortunate enough to be initiated in the shrine by Dr. Hazel. But now here's the big but, and this at that point was one of the most, I'm looking for the word, not really embarrassing, but I felt like most disrespectful moments in my Masonic career. Brothers who didn't like that, Brother Jones, when I was walking across those sands, I have very delicate underfeet, right? Mm-hmm. And man, I was hopping and I was jumping all over the place, right?
They tried to light you up, huh?
Man, brothers were, let me tell you something, brother. They were falling on the floor, foaming at the mouth, laughing, right? And right. And I felt really bad because number one, at least two of the brethren I brought into Freemasonry. Okay. Mm-hmm. I felt really bad. I mean, I felt terrible. I mean, they were foaming at the mouth, man. And I could just hear them, and it was just the funniest thing ever. And Doc defended me. He was like, shut up. He said, just what you said, bro. He said, this ain't no fun house. He said, it's a sacred shrine. And you disrespect it the way you disrespect everything else that's sacred in your history and in your culture. Doc could be a very mild-mannered individual, and he could be very fiery, and he did not take any mess or know any sugar from anybody. But he said that, Brother Muhammad, he said it's not that. And I was like you, brother Jalid. You know, I'd had an Islamic background. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They got it a little screwed up here, but this is talking about the Kaaba. This is talking about Islam. I said, so this is where you are now introducing Islam. So you would strategically make mockery of this and see to it that it can be turned into a place of frivolity instead of a place of spirituality. That it could be looked at with mockery instead of viewed with respect. So I saw that, and it became very indelible for me because, like I said, my friends and people were just like laughing at me, having a ball. They were foaming at the mouth. And I just knew, and I said, you know what? I kind of always know you brothers don't dig me anyway, you know, but because you don't like that, you know, Doc and I are getting close. And there was no L Day at the time, Brother Edwards, or anything like that. I just liked him, and he liked me, and I had grandmasters before, and I was just very fond of him, and it was a fondness between us. But brethren did not like that, and so they took the shrine initiation, and I remember thinking to myself, all I want to do is get past it, and then brothers could laugh all they want to. But at the end of this initiation, I'm going to have the shrine, and I'm going to have that degree, and I am going to study it as intently and as ferocious as I study anything else. So, but there is a reason why that degree has that aura of mockery on it, because it gets you closer to the real history, to some of the real secrets. That's why it goes in that direction, brother. But that's why Doc, you know, was like he was. He would say, stop complaining, stop carrying on and crying. And brothers would be like, ooh. And then they used to take the woman, ooh, they turn her up against the tree, and then they would whip her, and, you know. And Doc would be like, you know, do you really want to keep reliving that? You got to do something. You think your women don't respect you because you're not being a man. That's what he'd say. Be a man and do something. And that's where was the courage to go forth with the ancient free Moorish rite. We knew that we'd have opposition. You know, they told me if I didn't stop, it didn't blow me up. I mean, I'm serious. They say we're into red, white, and blue and things that go boom. So we suggest that you stop doing what you're doing. So it's a real thing, bro. You know, it's a real thing. What we're doing is real. And again, I'm right back to the courage of the people, you who are on this call. You who are on this call. You're not going to have to go through all of that. You're not going to have to go through all of that because Doc did. And then after Doc, I did. But I'll tell you, I had Doc's protection. So I'm not trying to make myself look like no badass, you know, and I'm ready to walk into a fray of danger. But Doc told me, he said, brother, I got you spiritually connected. If one hair is harmed on your head, it's going to be returned to those tenfold, starting with their children. He didn't play. He said that goes for now, and it goes for beyond the grave when I'm not here.
I see Brother Elwood had his hands up.
Yes, sir. And I know I saw Brother Edwards. And, you know, you got to just go ahead and plug me, Brother Edwards, and get me to shut up. You know.
Hey,
But there you go, brother.
you know, I sit back and listen to some of the things you brothers have said, and you know, we already know there were different times during history when they would burn all the books and they erase history. They did it back to the first female pharaoh. They tried to erase her history. Didn't want to give them. So the whole thing about the shrine is, like you said, Brother Elday, is to make a mockery of Islam.
Yes, sir.
You know, when it comes to these degrees, like the brothers from the Ancient Free Moorish Rite that don't have these degrees, I'll help you get every single one you got because I'm the Grand Master and I can help you do that. And if it's with the consent and permission of the Elday, because he's the Elday of the Ancient Free Moorish Rite, that can happen. We're not afraid to share anything with you because it's only going to enhance your experience when it comes to understanding. But see, my problem is that, like, when I go on the groups, I get pissed off all the time. You can ask Brother Aked is online. I text him all the time. Yo, you got dudes in here that ain't worthy to be in here. Look at Aked. He laughing right now because you know I do. So I look in the groups and I'm telling you, if a guy's in masonry in these United States, I either know him or I know somebody that knows him very closely. And when I look at some of these guys in the group, I'm like, why are you here? Like, you were in the Ancient Free Moorish Rite with us. Who stopped you from coming? It wasn't none of us. There's only one person that's been expelled from the Ancient Free Moorish Rite, dual jurisdiction, because he was a coward. He had nothing good for the Ancient Free Moorish Rite. He was about destruction. So I got with the Grand Masters because I make every Grand Master that's a part of the Ancient Free Moorish Rite one of my advisors. We had a meeting. We voted. He's expelled. Cool. We moving on. So now, these other guys are in there. You've been in these groups for months. All you're doing is being everything that says you're not supposed to be. You're being a coward. You're being an eavesdropper because you're in there trying to find information. I know who's in the Ancient Free Moorish Rite dual jurisdiction, and I don't say nothing to them about being on the pages because they're learning some information. But the ones that ain't there, why are they there? Doesn't the Moorish Rite teach us that we have to have a crow's nest? Why are these jokers in here? For the sake of having what? Members? There needs to be a vetting process to find out who they are, where they came from. It's okay if the guy's never been a Mason because you're not talking about something he's going to know. But these guys are Masons already, and they know. They took obligations, they took degrees where they had to obligate themselves not to do certain things, and they do it anyway. It's a slap in the face to Masonry. It's a slap in the face to Ancient Free Moorish Rite because guess what? You don't know them. I'll go in that group tomorrow, point out every single member that's in there that shouldn't be in there. Why shouldn't he be in there? Because you can make a decision to say, I want to be a part of this. Nobody's going to tell you no if you are worthy. It's not a problem. It's not a big issue. We're not enemies of any man. But when we learn certain things, everything is from an allegorical perspective, and that's in the Ancient Free Moorish Rite and traditional Masonry. And sometimes I don't mention the Ancient Free Moorish Rite dual jurisdiction because I'm not trying to put the dual jurisdiction in front of everybody. The first four letters of both groups are AF.M.R. It starts with that. So now, when you take somebody and you put them in a group and you know this guy's supposed to be a Mason, bro, why are you here if you know you're not? It's your Freemasonry, but you haven't earned that right, that privilege to sit in that room. So when do we start acting like we're supposed to act and being the Muket, making sure this brother's worthy? You can call me at any given time and say, hey, Ray, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? You ain't got to call me Grand. I'm cool with that. Grand don't mean nothing to me. Bro, what's up with this cat? Nah, bro. Negative. Because you're supposed to be recommended by a worthy brother. I'm a worthy brother. I don't give up. Ask him why he gave up. Ask him why he's not in part of this. Ask them why aren't they a part of the Ancient Free Moorish Rite dual jurisdiction any longer? Because I'm telling you, there's only one person that's been expelled. Anybody else, they left of their own free will and accord. So now, what are we doing? We're building and preserving the vision of Dr. Hazel. He would not want somebody in here that wasn't worthy of having these degrees. Now, you want the degrees? Say, I want them. I see certain guys, they say, I don't got it yet. Okay, cool. You know, and we don't sit back and hinder anybody. This past Sunday, there was a brother that I met because he contacted me about a post I put up in the Ancient Free Moorish Right group. And he said he wanted to be a Mason. He said he was incarcerated for a long time, and the only thing he had to keep him going was those books.
Right, I know him.
Okay, so what I said to him was, that's cool. I understand and respect that, but you're home now, right? He said, yeah. I said, now you got to walk that walk I walked. Could you imagine a brother that was claiming he was going to be a wali and he never sat foot in the lodge? You would feel the same way that I feel, and I feel the same way about both, because guess what? You're going to earn both when you come this way. So anyway, he comes to get initiated. You know the situation you in. Shirt was off. He got MOB on his stomach, Damu on his right sleeve, and something else on the left. So I said, oh, you blood. Okay, blood, come on in. And I stand up in the front of the room. I said, you know I'm a Crip, right? And he said, he just started giggling. So he said, oh man, what I done got into? But we initiated him and I hugged him. I'm not a Crip. We were just having a good time. And when the brother finished, he had a tear in his eye and he said, now I understand.
Hey, Ray, I'm going to add to that story because in the beginning, when he reached out to me, he told me that he had tried to join the mainstream Grand Lodge.
Yeah.
And he paid that application
for
fee.
$400. They got him for $400 and didn't do nothing.
$400. And then after that, he said he reached out to you and he said that he was welcomed with open arms in becoming a Mason. He did say, man, that was one of the greatest feelings I can ever have. So it really, when you see that for what it is, it really brings a whole nother perspective to it. That's what I see. There was another brother that had his hands up. I think I lost him.
Yeah, Brother Gill.
Yeah, that was somebody. Oh no, Brother Dietrich. Brother
Derek Lewis. Yep.
Yeah.
Dietrich from South Carolina.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. You can speak.
Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
All right, how you brothers doing? You brothers have some great conversation here. I'm also, just to note, named Derek Laws. I'm part of MW Cornerstone Grand Lodge. I'm also Muslim, have been so since I was, 15 years old. You guys hit on some points that I would say is very interesting that I've been doing a little bit of research on from a Moorish Science Temple perspective. I know some brothers that are part of the Moorish Rite. And when we mentioned about the Shriners and knowing the history of Islam and understanding what the Shriners ritual, I would say, and what the fez represents, what the fez mean when it was founded, and how it became the color that it became. So I'm familiar with the history on that. And you pointed on the point of Funhouse and knowing the history of something. And when you hear that, you have the same sentiment as the brother that was speaking upon that it's not, there's nothing fun about that, right? And when you mentioned that, when you go through the entire ritual of that process, which I have not, but I've been doing some research on that you would basically be converted, to Islam because you're headed that way, right?
That's not true.
So that's not true?
No, sir.
Okay.
Are you
based off the principles? MW Cornerstone.
Is who your
my grandma's Alex Treadville.
Tell your Alex Treadville you're gonna be in line with us to get your Moorish Rite in May the 13th. Let's go. Stop running your mouth. Let's get it on. We will be in Houston at Grandmaster Andre Jones' session, and he's given us permission to do the Moorish Rite in his session. That's Saturday, 4:00. You live in Houston, you live in Dallas?
Houston.
So I'll see you there, right?
Don't make a promise you can't keep.
Yeah, I'm not committing to nothing yet. I'm not committing to nothing just yet. I'm just being 1,000. You know, that's being 1,000 on that. But
Bill, my
going back,
boy, man, we done did a lot of brothers. Brother Eric Best is a good friend of mine. He's my national
yes,
Quran.
yes, indeed. I mean, my grandmaster taught me so much to the point to where, you know, I have to shut up at times, right? But what I'm getting at, and I guess I'm looking for clarity, I would say, you know, given that coming from Islamic background, and understanding the nature of us as Black men and where we come from, and understand who I am and what I represent on this earth. So why would I want to be a part of a shrine? One. Two, I do understand based off of what not head guy, but the individual that was talking earlier, beginning on the lecture. I liked everything that he said and everything that every brother said on there. So that is more in alignment with my purpose and my thought process, as far as a unity and understanding the Black man and who the Black man is. So my question, which I have not really gotten, but I see the like-mindedness in you all. So understanding I'm at that point to where my next level would be to the shrine in order to get to that next level, right? So 32 highways. So my question is that but why would a person want to be a part of the shrine with the Islamic background?
Go ahead, Edward. Go ahead, brother Edwards. I'll give my regard to you.
I'll put it to you like this. It's just like saying, like, I was Christian up until about 2 months ago. Allahu Akbar. Okay. Now that I'm Muslim, and the reason why I'm Muslim, because there was more of a connection with me to Islam through Masonry, because I love Masonry, but Christianity wasn't sitting right with me personally for a long time. And my good brother Jalil is Muslim. We all know he just came home, and I wanted to wait for him to come home to be there to prepare me to take my shahada. And he told me from where he's at, he said, no, you don't wait on nobody. Allah called you, you go. So now that I understand more by being a Muslim, I learned even more as a Mason. We have a total group, and I'm going to invite you to that group. It's called Muslims Who Happen to Be Masons.
It's a great group.
So you're going to learn certain things. The lessons that you learn has nothing to do with your religious tolerance or religious acceptance. It's the lessons. Like you became a Knights Templar, right? So when you became a Knights Templar, it says in that obligation that I will defend the Christian cause. You're not Christian, but you took that obligation, correct? So now,
correct.
That wasn't the actual case. The case was the Knights Templar were mercenaries. So the emblematic situation was they didn't want to understand that the Knights Templars were Moors. That's why they killed them. They killed all of them, wiped them off, because the Knights Templars were trained by the Mujahideen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't want anyone to understand what they learned. They don't want anybody to understand where the truth came from. Now you as a brother, you have the opportunity to learn. Like, we're in the process right now of creating a whole brand new Imperial Council that comes from the lineage of John G. Jones. I don't do nothing without the appropriate lineage. The Asiatic Sovereign Sanctuary of America is from the proper lineage, but we're practicing it from an Egyptian standpoint. And I've been waiting for the brother El Day, not throwing him under the bus, but he's supposed to be writing some literature that I yet to see, but I'm not going to throw my leader under the bus. But anyway, good afternoon, El Day. And
Good afternoon.
teaching and learning things even from the first 32 degrees. Those degrees started from Egypt. They didn't start in France. They didn't start
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Scotland. Those were our degrees. So we're developing that now to make an understanding for people that look like us. Everything we're doing is for people that look like us to take back what we was rightfully ours. For them to do what they did to swindle the Moors out of the ability to do what they were doing, to sign these so-called treaties and then murder them and get rid of them. And what did they do? They took everything from us. Just like when you go into your first 3 degrees, when you learn in masonry, they're going to cut your throat. That takes your voice away, so you can't teach anybody. They're going to hit your heart. Why? Because they're taking your courage away from you. Then they're going to kill you with that death blow because they want you to be dead.
Mentally. So you forget who you are. So now I can retrain you.
Absolutely.
Exactly. To the way they want us to react. And we've been reacting that way for years. For decades. So now how do we change that? By doing what we're doing now. People don't like me because of the way I say things. I don't give a damn. Because I'm Muwahid. I'm destined to tell the truth. I'm obligated to tell the truth.
No, brother.
So if you don't teach it the same way, I don't care. It's cats in the ancient free Moorish right that I ain't gonna never like because you ain't the type of nigga I want to be around. Because you a nigga.
Islam?
So my thing is, it's not everybody. There's some great brothers. I call Brother Gil. Hey, Brother Gil. Always peaceful, always love. Hey, Brother Ray, what's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Always willing to teach. Always willing to share. I've called him to come help teach. He came. Certain dudes, they teaching. Oh, well, you don't know this, you don't know that. You're right. I don't know everything. I'm the National Grandmaster, and I have more intelligent Moorish Rite Masons under my jurisdiction than I know. But what do? I go to Jalil. I go to Messiah. I go to Israel. And I ask them. And we put it all together, and we're making a plan to change this thing. So if I don't know and they don't give me an answer, I'm going to the LD. I know where to go to get answers. But we change the mindset of the individuals that we're involved with so that we can do it. Just like you said, you coming through, you Islamic, I got you, bro. You're going to get the same initiation I got, but I got you. Because that's all in fun. We had a great time, great fellowship on Sunday. We made guys Asiatic, we made guys Muwahid, we grew. So brother on here right now, he got his Muwahid, he got his Asiatic through the ancient free Moorish Rite, but he wants to be a part of the dual jurisdiction, and he wants to get his degree. He got his Muwahid in the ancient degree Moorish Rite dual jurisdiction. I spoke to the LD. He said, I have no problem with that. Why? Because the brother can meet with other brothers, go to meetings, talk, fellowship, and be a part of it. Why would he stop that? The LD ain't going to stop nothing like that. Because it's about expanding our mindset when it comes to what we're doing. We sit back and we have these conversations, and these conversations are very enlightening. And guys are on here, oh yeah, that's great information. But have you learned how to apply the information?
Right, the application of it. Yeah, indeed.
Brother Gil.
And it has to be measurable. Yeah, so yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, Brother Gil got a question. He got his hands up.
Hey, peace, brethren. I'm Brother Gil. Peace, Brother Jalil. It's always a pleasure, brother, to see you, and I welcome you back home. Brother Raymond Edwards, peace, love, respect, beloved, to you and your family. Commending you always from the flagship for your work and the courage, like Supreme Grand Commander said. Brethren from the flagship, all day. Peace, love, respect to you, brethren. I raised my hand, brethren. I didn't mean to interrupt anyone. I like the brother that just text before. You know, I kind of like have to run, but I didn't wanna go without saying a few things. You know.
Sure.
So paying honors, you know, to and kind of like with all due respect and apologies to everyone. Pulling the ship back to course. My words, what I have to say, it's more in regards of what I was invited here to, that it's to speak and say something about the legacy and the vision and the man.
Yes, sir.
With all due respect to all the other houses and school of thoughts and everybody's opinion, I think that's a conversation for another time. But for now, brethren, peace upon the Avatar and his complementary, Sister Bessie. When I think about the Avatar, brethren, when I think about Dr. Hazel, within the Moorish Rite and its structure, I was entrusted. I was given the charge of instructing over our Moorish Rite allegory, or the Ariamic legend, the legend of Ariama Biff Bay. And just to knowing and understanding that we have some Moorish Rite brethren here and some dual jurisdiction brethren also present, put you a little bit in context of what our allegory talks a little bit about. And like our Supreme Grand Commander was alluding to, when we as Moorish Rite Freemasons think about the Avatar, we think about this divine man, holy man, without falling into the fanatism and all this things that go on our heads when we mention words like this. But when I think about Dr. Hazel, about Doc, I come back to the legend. And I'm just going to rephrase 2 paragraphs from there. And the legend talks about a king, King Amenhotep, the king of Kemet. And when I compare the legend to the times that we were living when Doc was around us, and the times that we are living today, now I get the bigger picture of who that man was.
Come on, brother.
I understand more why Avatar. Now I understand more why, when I met him, we referred to him as the prophet. And today, as I was instructing on our legend, on our allegory, now I could see those sayings, those visions, those prophecies come to reality. And those things were things that Dr. Hazel saw in his visions, and that's why the necessity of a Moorish Rite. One of those paragraphs, brethren, and this is going to be like a tease for all of you, so that if you find it interesting, you go to the website and get the book, The Legend of Ariama Biff Bay. And that paragraph says, King Amenhotep, which to me is Dr. Hazel. King Amenhotep knew that to destroy the menace at sea, for me, the menace at sea is all these things that we are dealing today as society, as humanity, as individuals. So King Amenhotep knew that to destroy the menace at sea, he needed just one magnificent ship. What is that magnificent ship that we're talking about here?
Ancient Free Moorish Rite.
Yes, sir. Sturdy, swift, with military capabilities of destroying an entire fleet of normal seagoing vessels. He will call it his world ship. For enormous resources would be required to build it. Now, for an architectural endeavor of this magnitude, vastly comprehensive and complicated, to be successful, everyone enlisted would have to work swiftly and collectively. Now, here's where one of the visions of Dr. Hisel is taking place.
Come on, brother.
He just not only thought about re-emerging a Moorish rite, but he also thought about not only about the brethren at sea, but reuniting the brethren at sea with those brothers at land.
That's right. Come on.
And that's where we as Moorish Rite Freemasons and dual jurisdictions start learning about bridges. And now, here in this time, it's where we see that that vision is being manifested by the work of Brother Raymond. That bridge is being built to manifest the vision of Dr. Hisel. Of course, I'll continue reading. Of course, he will rely on the full cooperation and support of all his collaborators, the council, allies, architects, seamen, woodsmen, and other constituencies. So the Moorish Rite is not only about Moorish Rite Freemasons. It's about friends. It's about traditional brethren. It's about Shriners. It's about Templars. It's about universals. It's about purples, yellows, blues, reds, oranges, greens, whatever colors you want to call it. And as Moorish Rite Freemasons know and understand now that we have to understand better
Who hit the button?
Moor. And that the word Moor is not only related to skin color or religion or a land mass across the ocean.
Come on.
I am from a Mexican background.
I don't know.
Where do I fit in the African algorithm?
Come on, brother.
Just by understanding that the Olmecs and the African connection.
Come on, bro.
But I'm from this side of the continent. Redefining the word Moor. Continue reading. But the king knew also that only one man in all of Kemet could engineer and orchestrate the building of the world ship successfully. And that's my Supreme Grand Commander. And then, once it was fully completed and put to sea, successfully navigate its nautical mission. And I close with this paragraph. And with this, I will, as my Supreme Grand Commander said, I will commend everyone who's part of the Moorish Rite, part of the dual jurisdiction, and anyone who has gained interest in joining the ranks. Because it's not for everybody. And even if you're here and you have all the books, all the degrees, all the bling bling, because a lot of the brothers are more worried about the bling bling than being shining from that inside light, from that light from the inside. We're more worried about colors, coffers, crowns, and all these things that just blinds our eye instead of just polishing our inside. So if you're here and you have all the books, but you don't qualify with this attribute, you are, like Brother Edward said, you be that way. The council esteemed 4 conditions as certain for the success of the project.
Come on.
4 conditions had to be for success. 1, the ship must be dedicated and erected to the great God Amun. 2, the finest architect must be assigned to design it. 3, the best seaman must comprise the ship's crew.
Come on.
And 4, the vessel must be built of the strongest and finest materials available. So if you're not part of 3 and 4, brethren, there's a lot of work to be done. So, brethren, these were the words that I wanted to share with you before I depart. And on the square, brethren, peace, love, respect to you and your families. I appreciate and thank you for allowing me to say something on the square.
Thank you, brother. Peace.
Appreciate it. I have
Gil.
one more person that needed to say something. What you was gonna say, Ray?
I just said peace, Brother Gil.
Okay. I think that's Brother Maurice.
Peace, beloved.
Yeah, go ahead.
Greetings, peace, L Day, Grand. Thanks for having me on, Brother Muhammad. I've been a Mason for quite a long time. I've been on these chats with Morris Wright for, I think, a little bit over a month. Is that correct, Grand?
He's been a Mason since Moby Dick was a minnow.
What you talking about?
But last week we was getting questioned, and somebody told me, I don't know who it was, they say go and read up on the Phoenicians. Do you know who that was that told me to do that?
I told you that call us for tomorrow.
Okay, but hey, I did that, and man, that blew my mind. I mean, I can't stop learning about that, and that puts everything in perspective about what you said about we are sellers. I mean, I've been just writing and reading and writing and reading.
That's
and
right.
That's the whole story of us. That's the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing, I'm trying to figure out, how did we lose that?
Come on, brother.
How do we pick that back
Come on.
up?
Come on now.
That is so important. I done did 22 years in the military. I've been in combat 5 times. I got blew up twice. And this just blows my mind. I never seen nothing like this. And I enjoy being a part of it. And I thank you all very much. And I'm not going to let you down. And you're not going to be looking at me sideways, because I'm going to be exactly what Dr. Clifford
That's right.
wants to be.
That's right.
And that's my piece.
That's peace, for sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's another, I think that's a sister who wants to speak. Hello, let me see, I'm gonna have her unmute herself real quick.
Sister Audrey.
Okay.
Peace. Peace and fraternal greetings, everyone. My name is Sister Audrey V. I am the Duriuma of OMS Queen Nefertiti Osla #1. And I just want to acknowledge Brother Tony Muhammad. And again, I commend you on your show, sir.
Thank you.
It is an honor to be back here. Truly. Thank you. And I also want to acknowledge Brother Raymond Edwards, the National AF.M.R Dual Jurisdiction Grand Master, my OMS and OES sisters who are on the call, and Brother Alim El Day, to whom I pose my question to tonight.
Okay.
Peace, El Day.
Peace, Sister Audrey.
This question comes from a conversation I had with someone about something you said on the first show we did with Brother Tony Muhammad. And on that show, you said when you first became a Freemason, you wanted to write a Masonic ritual. But wasn't that a kind of hubris on your part? And my next question is about Sister Bessie Hazel Bay. And I'm asking about her because I am OMS. So what was she like? And what kind of person was she? I did read the book that you wrote about her, which was written very well, by the way. Not to take away anything from Dr. Hazel, of course not, but not to leave her out either. Peace.
Okay. Peace, Sister Audrey. I like that you threw a writing question in there, and I'll be quick with that. You know, it's just a favorite topic of mine. Was there any hubris? You know, I mean, I didn't have like an arrogant approach to it like that. Um, I didn't think that, you know, as soon as I came in the doors, I'm going to be ready to write a ritual. I didn't look at it that way. But being a writer, it was an aspiration, you know, like I knew that I still had more to learn. Maybe I said it in a way where it looked like there was hubris, but no, not really. I mean, I knew that I would have to, you know, I'm just an EA, right? But I knew that I would have to study some more, be around, you know, have some Masonic years behind me. Um, you know, like the writing part was, I mean, of course I knew I could probably handle the mechanics of writing, right? But as far as having the knowledge, you know, to be able to qualify as someone who could write a Masonic ritual as an EA, of course I knew I couldn't qualify for that. But the aspiration was still there. You know, it's like you know, singer, whatever, and you go someplace and you say, hey, one day I'd like to sing a song or write a song or something. It was like that kind of aspiration.
Yes, sir.
You know, but nowhere did I feel, you know, arrogant, like, hey, I'm going to come in here and write a ritual. No, I never, like I said, I had the aspiration, but I didn't even know if I would even have the opportunity when the time came. So it wasn't that kind of thing. And as I began to study and research, you know, all of the people who wrote Masonic rituals were dead and all that kind of stuff. I didn't even know if there was an avenue toward it, you know. Dr. Hazel, you know, he kind of made that avenue available to me. So no, it wasn't like on day one I'm ready to write a ritual or anything. It wasn't like that. I didn't feel that way. I've probably never been that you know, arrogant ever. But Sister Bessie, she was wow. She was just a lovely person. You know, she was a lovely person. She was strong. She was firm. You know, blazingly intelligent. She was someone who, you know, loved the books and learning and things like that. She was a very fierce leader. She was not somebody who was easy to get close to. You would probably look at her as a kind of a person that you would probably think that she never smiled, she never joked around or anything like that. You had to get to know her really well. In my opinion, she was a perfect complement to Dr. Hazel. They loved each other, you know, so devoted. But she was no nonsense kind of sister. She kind of reminds me of what's the Sister Brenda, who was
Yes, sir.
kind of,
Don't start nothing.
you know, yeah, she kind of
That's right.
reminds me of her. Not so much just in posture and the way she looks, but Sister Brenda seems like she's the type that, you know, she can be humorous when she wants to be, but she definitely seems to have a no nonsense kind of, you know, countenance. And Sister Bessie was the same way. You know, you couldn't just walk up on her and say anything or do anything. When you came to Sister Bessie, you had to come right. You know, she's the kind of person that wouldn't even speak to you if you were addressing her and she didn't get a good vibe from you. She would just ignore you altogether. She didn't need you in that sense. Sister Bessie was a millionaire. You know, so she kind of was very well to do. She was walked and talked and sat with Dr. King and Coretta Scott. She was another woman on the front lines. I think she used to be some kind of executive with I forgot the name of that union. I think the union that makes clothes and all of that. She was a serious person, a lovely individual, Sister Audrey. Very nice once you got to know her, but very no nonsense, no nonsense. and very, very committed to OES. Yeah, she just wasn't like she's just an OMS, crazed. She was very committed to OMS. She was the Supreme Grand Matron, uh, over, several chapters and all, very, very committed and fell in love with the concept of OMS, once she saw most of it laid out. And then she did put her 2 cents into what she thought about it, Sister Audrey, and what she thought the finished product should look like. Man, great, great, great individual. I loved Sister Bessie. And I'm going to tell the story. It's a quick story. One day she gave me a dictionary. And she said, I got something for you, Brother Alim. And the dictionary was big, almost as big as a coffee table, and very, 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 very fat. And it was a Webster's dictionary. And she gave that to me. And when I opened it up, the copyright was my birthday. And, that just kind of blew my mind. And I said that to her. I said that to Doc as well. And she didn't say anything about it. She just smiled a little bit. And that's when I knew that there was something very magical and very spiritual about her as well. So I was like, hey, it ain't just Doc, it's Sister Bessie as well. Lovely, lovely woman, lovely person. I'm honored to just, to have her even know my name. It took me a long time to really get to even know Sister Bessie, or before she would even dignify me with, a cordial conversation. Yeah, she was difficult. It was a gnarly process getting to know Sister Bessie. Trust me on that one, but a lovely person. Yeah, and no, Audrey, I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not like, stuffed headed and full and think I'm all it and all that stuff. I would never approach Freemasonry like that. I loved Freemasonry and I had respect for it. I didn't think that when I was an EA, I'm ready to write a ritual. No. But I knew I wanted to do one day. And I knew it would take some time. And I knew I need to have more mileage behind me before that day would happen. And when that day came, oh yeah, I was ready. I was ready. Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I like
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your question, sister. Always.
Real quick, I want to address Sister Audrey. Do not worry. The OMS call is coming. There are some things that have in place that when we do it, it's going to be way better than the men's call. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm introducing this right to Grand Masters. The Grand Masters are introducing the call to Grand Matrons because they work together. You see how it works. You've been on the calls with us. So now the next step probably will to be have a conversation amongst ourselves about how we're going to promote that call, because that call is going to be tremendous. So the OMS and OMS dual jurisdiction have not been left out of the playbook. It's just that that call is going to be of such a magnitude that I don't know if Tony Muhammad can handle it. Because at the start of the call, he's going to have to dance, and he can't dance. So that's going to create a problem already. But rest assured, Sister Audrey, the OMS call is coming. Just like the beautiful one has come, that call is coming.
Peace.
Peace.
It's all right.
I think
Brother Arquette has his hand up.
Brother Maurice has had his hand up for a while. No, he took his hand. So
I'm sorry, I'm put it down. I'm sorry, I'm put it down.
Okay. I don't know if Tony had to step away, but because he would have said something about me saying he can't dance. So, Brother Arquette.
Yes, sir. Peace, brother. Thank you, brother. National Grandmaster Raymond Edwards. And before I start, and I'm gonna be very brief because I know we're on 2-hour mark, but I want to first just give honor and give reverence to the Creator of all life, that has all of our hearts beating, all of our lungs breathing, and has us here together today, unified as one. So I honor and I give appreciation to the presence of the Creator here tonight. I want to just give honor to our Supreme Grand Commander, the El Day, who, as he said a little bit, and that's not even half the story, but literally, has given and gives his life for this right every minute of every day. And I know Grandmaster and all the Grandmasters on the Ancient Free Moorish right side, and National Grandmaster Edwards can tell you, I don't know when he sleeps. I don't know when he sleeps. So we thank you all day. Our sisters of the Order of Moorish Star, peace to our sisters. Thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge our flagship, our Saeed Day, Brother Renee Smith, and all of the officers. I want to acknowledge our National Grandmaster, Brother Raymond Edwards of Ancient Free Moorish Right Dual Jurisdiction. I want to acknowledge our National Deputy Grandmaster, Brother Jalil. Peace, beloved. Yes, sir. Peace, beloved. Woo. Y'all get ready, right? Y'all get ready. Looking at that background, man. Woo, a lot of energy coming off that, bro.
Sure.
So I want to acknowledge all of the Saids, Walis, Asiatics, Muwahids of Ancient Free Moorish Right Dual Jurisdiction, everybody on the line. I just acknowledge you and extend my fraternal embrace and my fraternal love. I want to just share, just give me 3 minutes. And we talked about Dr. Hazel, and I see that is the focus, and it would not be right if I did not, just express this, because I know a lot of us here, some of us here have experience of meeting Dr. Hazel and sitting with him and tarrying with him. And, I think that, and while I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, but I have to say what I know, that essence, that spirit lives in the El Day. You see it, you feel it, you read it. This is what it is. And when you want to get to know Dr. Hazel, and as it says, I don't know which volume of Sacred Law, if you love me, follow my commandments. Follow what I've laid down. If you love me. And what makes a right is its ritual. And that's what you feel in the rituals. You feel that pull. Why? Because there's something that's speaking to your spirit. And we always say your spirit will never lie to you. Man will lie, but your spirit will never lie to you. So what you're feeling is you're feeling the spirit of the avatar, because the El Day can say, he said what? I'm going to do more when I'm outside of this flesh.
That's right. Come on, brother. Come on.
Than when I will in. And I don't know, you brothers, we got movie buffs on the line, and brothers love different movies, but man, I forget the movie. It's not coming to me, but when we understand the science, right, of as the El Day talked about earlier, the technology of spirituality, we know that it cannot be extinguished, because it's energy.
Come on, brother.
And they'll tell you that in science. So what are we working with here tonight, Brother Tony Muhammad, National Grandmaster? What are we working with here tonight? We're working with energy. And we are at a place at this time, and you've heard a little bit about the allegory, that it's not, playtime is over. The flood is coming. And you'll see my posts. I post a lot on Facebook. And the only place that you're going to be able to survive is on a vessel. Is on a ship. That's why you see, and I just want to add this here. It ain't just going to take the regular pirate to go in here and dig in our history and get into it with these landsmen, as our National Grand Master has to do. So yes, you may not like everything you see, may say whatever, but guess what? As he said, right? What I'm gonna do. And for us as sailors, we understand, we'll go into the lessons, but as pirates, we have to dig in. We have to find that treasure that was buried.
Come on, brother.
But they're not just giving it to us.
Yes, sir. Come on.
They're not just giving it to us. So what I want to bring in the spirit of Dr. Hazel is its lessons. I'm gonna bring two readings to the floor from the ancient free Moorish rite. And when I read this, I want you to just reflect on everything you've heard tonight from the brothers. All the comments you've heard tonight. When we talk about you'll know a tree by what? The fruit it bears.
Come on, brother.
By the fruit it bears. And I know the L Day, I remember having that as we were at, the buffet that night after that long lodge meeting. And the L Day told me something and it stuck with me. He said, the thing that separated Dr. Hazel, the thing that separates me, as he was talking about himself, is that he was serious about this.
Come on, brother. There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why? Because as we talk about, and all of my ancient free Moorish rite dual jurisdictions brothers will know, on that grand and glorious day, when Allah's our vessel, having endured the anger of the seas and the animus of its gales, angers in the harbor of your kingdom, may you be pleased to say, what? Here are mine own Moors, true men of the earth, because they have sailed the waters of my word and anchored their deeds in my laws. Truly have they reflected the light of the heavens above to make bright the earth below.
Come on.
Thus they are now these who have overthrown the hands of oppression.
Come on.
Overcome the clutches of ignorance and death, and have not fondered in the deep. No more fondering. They ain't gonna have us fondering. Why? Because we getting what we gotta get.
Come on.
These old stale debates. Time is over. The young generation is here, and they're ready for light. Why? Because we always talk about it, right? Didn't I read for my ancient free Moorish rite, dual jurisdiction? We know about the legend. What did Irene say? You plant the seeds and where? And leave it to grow.
That's right.
And what he said, National Grandmaster, if you don't do this, what he said, you will have done nothing.
That's right.
What did Dr. Hazel say in our ritual? A new nation will grow from the old.
Come on.
A new nation. What you see happening right here for this Zoom in the public, and as it ripples, because it will create those ripples, this is the new nation. Get on board. Or, like National Grandmaster said, what? You go overboard, what's over there? Sharks. But let's go into history. Do we want sharks on our trail? But I want to just narrow in on these 2 points from my readings, and this will encapsulate, I think, and I want you to reflect on these words, and I'm going to read it in a manner that you're able to hear it and feel it, because this is the ancient free Moorish rite. This is the ancient free Moorish rite dual jurisdiction that you see and that you will feel. And as I said on that last call, Brother Grandmasters, Al Kahim Saeed's on this call, L Day, and Dr. Hazel said it. It's going to come a time, and mark my words. What's today? May 3rd, 2022, 10:19 p.m. Put it in the records. Those who do not acknowledge or recognize us, you're going to be lucky if we recognize you.
Come on.
Come on.
Lucky. Why? The ancient Moors gave Freemasonry to the world.
Sir.
It began with them, and they brought it all over the earth. Hear my words. And these ain't my words. This is Moorish rite, but I ain't gonna go into where it's coming from. But no, this is Moorish rite, and you want to talk about who wrote it, you look at the L Day. This is why I'm committed. Because what did it say? And to what people Moors did not bring it, these came to the Moors and got it.
Come on.
Or stole it. This is not a prejudicial stab at other people, as many certainly have indelible footprints in the sands of human progress. But that is just an irrefutable fact. In fact, this fact places enormous responsibility on Moorish Rite Freemasonry today.
That's right.
What responsibility is that, brothers? And hear me well, and I'm going to end on this. the mighty Moors, masters of the arts and sciences of civilization, tutored the world in the principles of righteousness, culture, and refinement. And what? Tell me, El Day. Freemasonry was the teaching instrument.
That's right.
Moorish Rite Masons are determined, hear me right, to take the flail and crook of righteousness and shepherd the world today, as our forefathers shepherded the world yesterday. Now, that's a very ambitious disposition. Yes, it is. But who is going to lead our masses if we decline? We are not looking to the sky, ocean, or land for the miraculous return of any prophet who lived and died yesterday. We are here today. And we best honor, and listen to Dr. Hazel, we best honor the prophets of yesterday. We have one. And El Day said he ain't a prophet, he was an Afidar.
Come on.
We best honor the prophets of yesterday by what? Accepting the mantles they have left with us and continuing their noble work today.
Come on, brother.
This is what you see when you see the flagship, when you see the ancient free Moorish Rite. This is what you see when, and come on, these are seasoned Freemasons, brothers that know, can tell it way better than I can, right? And have a love for this thing. So it's that feeling. Why? Because that feeling is rooted in the Creator. It's rooted in the very heartbeat that is going through your body right now, because there's a urge and a yearning to connect. And that is our divinity. Why? Because we all have to take that last breath.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And when we do, we want to make sure and thank the Creator that that last breath is going where? Out. So this is what we do. We are the mirror of the Creator. We reflect His righteousness, and we raise the sun each and every day. And I applaud, I commend, this platform. Thank you, Brother Muhammad. Thank you, National Grand Master. Thank you, El Day. Thank you to everybody who has even just had an interest or even a look in. Because guess what? Sooner or later, Doc is going to grab you. So I greet you, brothers. Thank you, brothers. Thank you for allowing me to talk. Thank you for, having me, Brother Jalil. Love you, brothers. It's so good seeing you. And, I love everybody on the line. Thank you. Honest to everybody.
Yes, sir. Peace, peace, beloved. Thank you.
Tony Muhammad, you back? Okay, good. Okay. There was a brother Tony had. I think his name is Suleiman.
Suleiman.
Salahuddin.
Is his hand still up?
I don't know, brother. He might have left. I saw it earlier, and I didn't know if you had to deal with something at the house or you was getting your dancing lessons, but
All right. I didn't see it.
Can I ask some? Can I get a new brother to share how ancient free Moorish Rite has affected you thus far? New, very new.
Grandmaster Edwards, if I can just say, and I know you're probably calling the brother, but for the ancient free Moorish Rite, I would like the brother Rising Sun, Brother Bohama, if you're here and you can speak, beloved, I would like for you to have some words when it's your turn, beloved. Peace.
Is anybody new? Let me see.
Brother Jamal Williams, we got a new ancient free Moorish Rite. He's on about a week now. Jamal Williams.
Peace. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, bro. Yes, sir.
Okay. To answer the brother's question, as far as everything I've learned impacted me in my life, I would have to say it has a major impact because first your thought, I was accustomed to living my life one way. I can't speak for the other brothers, but your thought basically to conduct yourself a certain way, like to basically, I had to learn to get out of let go of a certain stigma that I had and like basically let go of a lot of things also. And also, through my journey, I don't want to say I've lost people. If anything, I've gained, because the people that I've lost wasn't supposed to be in my life in the first place, and I didn't know, well, I didn't realize it until I started taking my journey. So, yeah, it was like, it's basically a learning process for me. And, it's basically guiding me and, showing the way and helping me navigate through my life in certain areas, because a lot of the teachings, applies to real life. So, yeah, that's my piece.
Thank you, brother. Grandmaster Kenneth Lynch.
Yes, sir, brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, my piece is that we're here to bring light and receive light. We are here to better ourselves as individuals and brothers. And we can only do that by removing ego, and removing certain mannerisms and behaviors in order to fill ourselves up with something much more righteous, more ancient, and more fulfilling to our soul. And that's my piece.
Sure.
Okay, brother Tom Muhammad, you back. There it is, the brother right there, Sandallahu Fun. I'm sorry.
Sounded fun. Holloway, yeah, that's good. Peace to the. I want to give honors to the grand architect of the universe, the grand navigator, to the higher ups. So I don't want to go through no bunch of honors, but I want to give honors to all the brothers, sister on the line. What I really want to say, I didn't want to say it, but the spirit been heavy on my mind to say this. So I just want the brothers. It's like 45 of us on the phone. I want us to tie knots. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get on the phone, I do this with the brother. I'm works for past master in the mainstream masonry shrine, all of that. The Moorish rite, this is like real special to me, because in the mainstream masonry, it was so much that I saw that was missing. You know what I'm saying? And so to see, even like the so-called Mexican brother, how the wisdom that he was speaking of, how us coming together, you know what I'm saying, and being able to come under this one umbrella as Moors. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got different things in their mind of what a Moor is, but he is a Moor. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans, everybody on the world in the world has some Moors descent in them, unless they a blue-eyed, blonde-haired albino. You know what I'm saying? And they probably got some in them too. But if they're using any type of technology, any type of science, they're using our science. So what we need to do now these times is really tie these knots with each other, brother. I'm not going to go into no knowledge or none of that. What I really want us brothers to do, the tie that binds us, to really honor that and to really unite and to really love our brothers and sisters, to bring about this unity and this change that our people, because we are the light bearer. You know what I'm saying? On land and on sea. See what I'm saying? This has added a whole nother. Because I take this real serious. I'm a Grand Sheik of the Moorish Side Temple of America as well. I take this extremely seriously. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm living and dying for this. And it's something that I ain't even want to really do. I tried to put the masonry thing down. Come on. And it keeps smacking me in the face. You know what I'm saying? So I got to obey the supreme navigator. I can't navigate how I want to navigate. It's rough waters over there. I mean, it's gonna be rough, but I'm gonna navigate with my brother. You know what I'm saying? And so all I'm saying is I left my number I'm in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Brothers in this area, y'all get in contact with me. I know y'all finna come to Houston. I want to make sure I'm linked in. And I have a spot here we can operate out of as well. Well, actually two of them, one in Little Rock and one in Pine Bluff. So I'm here. I got my working tools in hand, and I'm ready to go to work. And I just want the brothers and sisters to really unite with each other, have love with each other, get your rough edges and all of that off. Y'all, we got building to do, we got selling to do. Let's get our thing together. Support our officials, support your brother, your sister, and I yield. Peace.
Peace.
Unmute your phone, Tony.
To add real quick to what the brother was saying, you know, as far as like you know, tying knots. That's one thing I want to say that I love about, you know, being a part of the Moorish Rite Freemasons is the fact that you guys, you know, there's always someone there. Like, you know, like if I have a question or, you know, a thought or whatever the case may be, you know, I could always reach out to somebody, and there's always, you know, if this person don't answer, somebody else will pick up. Or, you know, if they don't pick up, they'll shoot me a text, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's always someone there to, you know, like guide you, make sure that you're receiving, you know, your knowledge the right way, you know, helping you out or whatever the case may be. So that's one thing I could say. I definitely appreciate with you guys.
Brother Tony, you're on mute, beloved.
Well, there I go. There I go. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Is there anyone else before we go ahead and close out real quick?
Peace, greetings, everyone. Peace. This is Brother Renee with the flagship, Saeed Day, the flagship. I'd like to greet everyone here. First, I'd like to acknowledge the Supreme Navigator of the Universe for allowing us to come here together and to do this work. And of course, you acknowledge our avatar, Clifford E. Hazel Bay, the reason that we're all here tonight. Acknowledge our Supreme Grand Commander, Grand Masters are on the line, brethren. I acknowledge OMS, everyone here. So peace and love to everyone. Brother Raymond had mentioned he would like to hear from new brethren. I am not new, but I am new. As you know, there is nothing new under the sun. I would just like to say, I have never met our avatar, Brother Clifford E. Hazel Bay, in the flesh or in the physical, but we have a connection on a spiritual level through the mystic work that we have within our degrees. One degree in particular I would like to mention is our Asiatic degree, which takes us from the beginning and pretty much into the end of your connection, or our beginning, because there is no end, our connection to the Creator. So I am grateful, owing, being thankful, owing gratitude to our avatar, Clifford Hazel Bay, for having the vision to ask that important question that, about Freemasonry. And Freemasonry, we know, is cultural based. And when we talk about cultural, we're talking about human intellect, which we can't find in other rituals that we find in our Asiatic rituals, in our more short rituals. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me to be here. This is a great platform. I thank Grandmaster Hawkins for allowing us to come together on this platform and to express and share the culture of Freemasonry. That's ancient free Moorish Rite. So thank you, and peace and love to everyone on this line. I yield the floor.
All right. Thank all my. Is there what you see? Do you see anything, Ray, that I don't see? Before I go ahead and close out.
Peace. I just wanted to give thanks to everybody on this call, acknowledge everybody. I'm real new to this. I just started about 2 days ago, and I just want to say what an honor it is to be sharing this space with y'all. And my brother Aket, I've known him for some years, and I've been watching his journey and his growth. And I think one of the things that speaks volumes to me is who I'm seeing him grow into. And it really caught my attention. And, I'm very impressed with what's going on here. And I take what I do very serious. I was in education for 15 years, and I decided to leave that field because I want to work on a bigger education of my people and an education of myself. I want to learn more so I could give more to the people around me and the people that I could reach. And, you know, just thank you for all your efforts and the things that you're doing and the knowledge that you're passing on, because the energy is real, you know, and I'm feeling that energy. Like I felt it on Sunday, and I want to keep going in that direction of my journey where the energy is taking me, you know, and it's gonna take a lot of that positive energy, especially that the type of energy that I'm feeling this evening, for us to create that change and plant those seeds. And, you know, one of my big goals is leaving curriculums that last for thousands of years. You know,
Come on, bro.
you know, they want to erase our history. And if we don't leave those curriculums and those teachings that could last and just plant those seeds, so then the next generation could continue to plant seeds, you know, we're not doing our part during our time here. So, you know, to be a part of this is a blessing. And I just, you know, I feel stronger already, because I know I got a band of brothers behind me, you know, that could not only give me the knowledge, but assist in the things that I would love to achieve and the things that I know I'm capable of doing.
That's right.
So, you know, I just, Brother Aket, you know, again, thank you for bringing me here to this space. And, you know, I just want to say how honored I am to be building with all of y'all brothers on here, because it takes a strong brother to be in this space. And I want to get to personally know all of y'all, and just continue to build, because that's how we gonna make this difference. You know, we stronger together, and when we tie those knots, you know. And I'm just with it, and I'm taking it serious, and I'm gonna show that. You know, I'm gonna prove that. I'm not just gonna say that. So, you know, thank you, and I hope everybody has a blessed night.
Thank you, sir. Peace.
Peace, brothers.
How's everybody doing? This is Brother Johnson from NW Cornerstone Grand Lodge with Alex Treville. I have been traveling for about 3 weeks now. I've been off and on because I'm still in the military, but I like to piggyback on the gentleman that just spoke about the history of what's going on and stuff like that, because I'm also in the education field. I don't know if anybody heard about Texas was trying to change their history book, saying we were no longer slaves. We were indentured servants. We were never a slave. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that has been turned down. But if people don't know what an indentured slave is, that is a slave. That was a person that asked to come over here and volunteered their time to pay back, their way. So somebody to pay their way, and they paid them back through servitude. But it has been revoked, which I am so happy that they did revoke that. But we need to educate out, as well as not only ourselves, but our young men and our young ladies that are out there that are listening to the new word of the history of what people have been going on, and not the word that has been going on in our history. And I would like to say welcome to the members that are traveling to Houston on the 13th. Like I said, I am still in the military, so I might have drill that weekend, but I'm trying to get out of it to meet with y'all, because I am looking forward to meeting with y'all and fellowshipping with y'all and getting more knowledge of this and stuff. And Brother Treville said it would be a good blessing for me to meet everybody at that time too also.
Peace.
All right. So look, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna close out the YouTube, and we're gonna continue on Zoom. So if you're on the YouTube channel, we're gonna close that out, but we are going to continue on the Zoom. So as I've always said, hey, look, I am not your study guy, but I'm here to help you study. Whatever you do, keep your light on and stay out the bushes. But we're gonna continue on the Zoom, but we're gonna close out on the YouTube. And with that being said, to all of those who have been watching on the YouTube channel, I want to say thank you for tuning in. I know we went a little long tonight, but if you're going to take a long drive somewhere, throw this in, and I guarantee you we'll get you over there. We'll at least get you 2 hours to wherever you got to go with this great conversation that we've had tonight. So I'm going to close. I'm going to close that out over on the live side, and we're going to continue on the